Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent, fabulous track there. Revolution Girls from Mariachi El Bronx. Now, John Rankin Waddell has cut quite a dash through the world of fashion and photography since founding Dazed and Confused. Rank and other magazines around the turn of the century. His photographs are terrifically famous. He photographed all the beautiful people, Kate Moss, Kylie Minogue, Tony Blair and the Queen. He's been involved from time to time in television, and these various strands of his career came together in his TV documentary, The Story of Life magazine, which is on BBC4 on Thursday at 9 o'clock. So you're looking at Life magazine, and it's a period 1936, 1972. That's what we probably think of as Life magazine.
Yes, because that was the main weekly issue coming out at that point, and then after that they brought it out occasionally.
Try to keep it going. Life After Life.
Yeah,
really,
there was no Life After Life, unfortunately. It didn't really work.
And there was a pre-existing Life mag. I think they bought the title from
I'm not sure. Henry Luce is the guy that actually published it, and he also published Time magazine, and two of the most successful magazines of the kind of 20th century, really. And he bought it because of the name. He thought the name was such a great name, so he got it, and then he started it.
And obviously the reason for you presenting this is that the photographer was king in Life magazine for that period of time. These all sorts of photographs, wartime photographs, ordinary people photographs, and eventually celebrity photographs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of photography, and I've done a few. I've done photographs in fashion, and I've done Hollywood photographs. So this is my documentary one, and I've been such a fan of W. Eugene Smith when I first started taking photographs, and I really wanted to be a documentary photographer. After seeing his show at the Barbican, and I was 20, and I thought this is what I'm going to be. And I tried to take those kind of photographs, and I was just terrible at it.
Well, he sort of goes and lives with people and getting really intimate photographs. Yeah,
what's amazing about Life and the photographers, especially Eugene Smith, is that they would spend, they could spend up to a year with people for a 12-page story, and it was called embedding. And really, Life magazine kind of invented this photojournalist kind of diary of people, and he was the best at it. So it was something that I was drawn to. And when the BBC approached me, I said I'd love to do that, but I don't know if I can fit that amount of time into an hour. But then listening to Simon, I'm kind of, it's not as it's not as difficult. No. It's only 40, 50 years.
But you got a very jolly trip round America to where these various, some of them are quite old people now in their lovely houses they've retired to, and you go and chat to them about their great days.
Yes, I mean, it's unfortunate in a way that nobody's done a documentary like this before, because at the height of Life, or even sort of 10 years afterwards, it would have been a fascinating trip. To meet all the photographers, and unfortunately a lot of them have passed away. But the guys I met were just incredible. Their energy and their honesty and their dedication is still there when you speak to them.
When the beginning part, you make the point there were sort of 4 top photographers, and one of them was a woman. You think, that's a nice sort of equality thing. But then everyone's saying, she got all her photographs for devious means. Or
she did use devious means. I don't know if I can sort of speak about them.
Well, you can speak about them in decorous terms.
Yes, she was quite well known for using her talent, her extra talent, as she used to call it, as a woman, to be able to get sort of generals to move battleships and let her on planes and things during the war. So she there was a few stories about her that are you can't really repeat, but there was a lot of other photographers that were very jealous of her, and
they said she had an extra bit of equipment.
She had an extra bit of equipment, that she used readily. And she was the photographer that took the first cover, and she went on to be the main photographer with Alfred Eisenstadt.
Yes, but because a lot of photographers are men, it seems quite a male thing in some ways. That sort of is it because it's the sort of intrusion that men are happier to do, or what?
I think there are more women now taking photographs, especially in the fashion industry and portraiture. But I think at that time, to do that kind of documentary work, she really was a pioneer, and she pioneered things like she would ride off the bottom of helicopters and take photographs of the land. And there's a great life story that she did, which is just photographs from the helicopter, which is one of the most amazing sets of shots ever, and it's been kind of stolen by other people as ideas for books. So, and a lot of the photographers' ideas would be then taken on and used by the photographers.
There's a bit of a development in the progress. You talk about Eisenstadt. You know, Eisy was a very self-effacing and a long-serving photographer, kept out the way. But one of the last people you talked is Harry Benson, a Glaswegian, who's kind of in what we now are talking about this week, in the more of that intrusive kind of, you know, almost a paparazzi going in, getting a photograph. So that the thing had changed by then.
It had, and Harry's an incredible guy. He calls himself a rat who gets in, you know, where nobody else can get in. And he said to me that the thing about him is that he would never become friends with anybody that he photographed, because if he became friends with them, he wouldn't be able to use that fantastic shot of them in the bath that they didn't want him to use. And he came from the Fleet Street kind of mentality of get in, get the shot, get out. And it was the opposite of the embedding, of kind of getting to know the people and trying to give them a kind of an objective perspective in your subjective way.
So how did you get going on photography? Because you're a sort of Scotsman brought up in St Albans. You do a lot of fashion photography, and I have had the pleasure of being photographed by you in your studio.
How was that for you?
It was fine, but what was impressive was you have so many people there. I've been photographed by lots of people for variety of TV promotions and things, but you seem to have about 20 people. I mean, you did the photograph, but there were 20 people holding lights, moving things around, serving coffee. It was I mean, it seemed like a very successful operation, but it looked expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
assuming you're paying some of them.
It is expensive, but I pay most. I pay all of them. I think I've got into this kind of way of working, which is to create an atmosphere on set. And I find that if there's a lot of people there, that you can create this atmosphere where people, instead of feeling less relaxed, can feel more relaxed, because it's like a party atmosphere, really. So I've used that as my technique.
Terence, you must have been photographed by plenty of photographers over the years.
Photographed by me.
By you, but also in studios, but also from from the bushes as well, as you're stepping out with some beautiful actress or other.
Well, I think Rankin's got something, because I have always found it very difficult.
But with you just have to stare at the camera with your eyes, and that's just focuses the whole thing.
That's what he does do,
yeah. Well, we'll leave that on that philosophical note. But that's all our loose ends tied up for this week. Thanks to all my guests: Rankin, Simon Sebag, Montefiore and Terence Stamp, Mariachi L. Bronx, Rachel Sterling, Torval and Dean. Next week, my guests will include Jimmy Osmond and Charlie Brooker. But from me for now, goodbye.
Loose Ends was presented by Clive Anderson and